Welcome to the third and final vlog in our series, The Secret to Happiness. I'm Jenny Allen Smith. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I'm an NLP practitioner, neuro-linguistic programming, all about the language of the mind. And I'm a transformational coach. And one of the things that I'm most passionate about is helping people to lead a happier life. And today we're talking about the third and final leg in our happiness stool, which is all about getting more contentment within our lives. So how content do we feel? The degree of calm that we feel about our lives? Do we feel at peace with ourselves and the life that we're living, the way that we're living on our life and the decisions that we're making? And how can we create more of this sense of peace? So I'd like to just share with you first another one of my favorite tools, which is called the feelings wheel. Now, the feelings wheel, as you'll see here on the slide, really demonstrates the range of different emotions that we can experience at any one time. And by the way, this wheel is by no means an exhaustive list of all of the emotions that we can experience. But what I've noticed with the clients that I work with in my practice is that we often label our emotions inaccurately, and that means that we respond to them in the wrong way. And I get this because I always used to find emotions so confusing. I would know that I felt bad, but I couldn't actually pinpoint exactly what was up with me. I didn't have the vocabulary or the understanding about all the various emotions that we can feel at any time to identify exactly what it was that I was feeling in that moment. Now, this is important because labeling our emotions has proved to be fundamental to our ability to thrive in our lives, to then obviously become happier as a result of that. Now, neuroscience absolutely supports this approach. Studies have found that putting feelings into words helps us to manage them, because what it does is it calms down the body's stress response. So in short, when we name the emotion, we tame it. And as a result, we can feel more resourceful and we can grow our resilience toolkit. So what I would invite you to do here is just to try to find two named emotions that most accurately describe how you are feeling right now in this moment. The best way, I think, to do this is to start with the center of the wheel and then to move your way outwards and try and see if you can pinpoint two emotions from the outer layer of this wheel. So it could be that right now you are feeling happy, but actually, what do you feel underneath that descriptor? What do you really feel? Perhaps you actually really feel inspired or hopeful or thankful or joyful or cheeky. Really take a moment to try and find which descriptors most accurately reflect how you're feeling right now. On the other hand, it might be that you feel sad. So you could use the wheel to realize that actually what you're feeling is you're feeling perhaps isolated, or you might assume that you're feeling angry in this moment. And the underlying emotion that you might find is that actually you've been hurt by something or someone perhaps. And what you're doing here, by the way, is a practice called noticing. And this is really powerful. It's where you can step back and you can say to yourself, right, I am noticing that in this moment, I am feeling rejected, as an example. And what noticing does, it's so impactful. It creates a space. It creates a space between us and the emotion. So we're able to observe it rather than getting pulled into it. And as a result, we can take more positive action to help ourselves. And labeling emotions like this helps us to feel calmer, to feel more content, more resourceful, helping us to prop up this leg of our stool. Now, I'd like to invite you to consider inviting some new happiness practices into your daily and weekly routines. So I wanted to start by talking about the 7-minute delay. This is about starting your day really powerfully. So when you wake up, I ask you to not immediately pick your phone up. You might have experience kind of waking up, perhaps some days with a wildly beating heart, or your mind might be racing, and you wake up with a sharp intake of breath sometimes. Now, this is really normal, just to reassure you. That's because it's the cortisol in our body that actually wakes us up in the morning. So we already start the day with a natural tendency to stress, because it's the stress hormone that's actually waking us up. So if we grab our phone and we look at either what the world wants from us, for example, our emails, our messages, or the news, as an example, what this does, it can make us feel ever more stressed and overwhelmed, making it much harder for us to experience happiness first thing in the morning. Now, there are tons of studies that show that the state that you start your day in tends to be the state that your day unfolds into. So if you start by grabbing your phone and you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, it can be quite hard, not impossible, but quite hard for you to turn that state around, for you to feel on top of things, for you to feel quite calm and content and well-resourced. So the first 7 minutes, this is your challenge. I would like to invite you to do what is good for you during those 7 minutes, whatever makes you feel happy. Might be a meditation, it might be stretching, it might be drinking a glass of water, it might be cuddling your kids or a partner or a dog or any other animal of your choice. Anything that is going to stop the cortisol from surging up and putting you in a place of high stress to start your day. Now, a morning routine can be transformative. Studies show that the mood you start your day in will transform your entire day and can make you feel lasting happiness. Now, the other point that I wanted to make about your morning routine was habit stacking. This is about supercharging your existing routine. So think about what things, what moments form part of your daily routine. Things like brushing your teeth, putting clothes on, hopefully, taking a shower, walking to work. I get that you likely don't have much extra time to add to your day. So habit stacking is a perfect solution. It's adding something on the top of something else. So perhaps when you're in the shower in the morning, rather than fretting about what you've got going on that day ahead of you, maybe add in a mindfulness meditation, or even better, a visualization exercise. Actually visualize yourself in an inspired way, feeling happy throughout that day, because the imagination doesn't know the difference between kind of what is real and what isn't, and you can actually trick your body into experiencing those sensations, and as we've seen, this can last throughout the entire day. It's very, very powerful. And then habit stack at the end of the day as well. So winding down is just as important. So after work, if you carry that stress into your evening, you will suffer mainly with sleep problems, perhaps with illness. So why not add a meditation into your commute home if you can, on the train if possible, or walk home mindfully, using all the senses to take in all of the environment around you. All of this great stuff helps your mind switch off for the evening ahead and to go into wind down mode. So habit stacking, it's basically upgrading the existing moments in our life, and it is utterly transformative. Now, in our day-to-day lives, it is so easy, isn't it, to get caught up in all of the things that go wrong and feel a bit like we are living under our own private rain cloud. At the same time, what tends to happen is that we adapt to the good things and to the people in our lives, and we end up taking them for granted. And as a result, what I find from the clients that I talk with is that we're often overlooking the everyday beauty, the everyday goodness around us. So a kind gesture from a stranger, the warmth of a heater on a chilly morning, anything that kind of literally and metaphorically warms up your day. So we are frequently missing all of these opportunities for happiness and connection throughout our days. So the practice of 3 good things is designed to safeguard you against those tendencies. So by remembering and listing 3 positive things that has happened to you during your day and considering what caused those good things, that can turn into a real source of goodness in your life. And it's a habit that can really change the emotional tone of your life too, replacing feelings of disappointment or entitlement with those of gratitude. And studies have shown that gratitude practices such as these are massively associated with significant increases in happiness levels. So each day I invite you to write down 3 things that went well for you, be as specific as possible, and provide an explanation for why they went well. That's really important. It's also really important to create a physical record. So actually writing them down. It isn't enough to simply do this exercise in your head. Now, the items could be relatively small in importance, like my co-worker just made me a lovely coffee today, or they could be relatively large. I earned that big promotion that I was going for. But make this exercise part of your daily routine. Maybe embed it just before bed is proven to be really helpful too, just writing it down in a notepad at the side of your bed. So give the event a title in your notepad. So for example, a co-worker complimented me on a project well done. And write down exactly what happened in as much detail as possible, including what you did, what you said, what other people said. Include how that event really made you feel, and explain what you think might have caused the event as well. And what this does, it teaches you to notice, to remember, to savor the better things in your life. And it may prompt you to pay closer attention to the positive events down the road and to engage in those more fully too. Now, what's key as well is to share these experiences. Share if you're thankful to someone else. Share that thankfulness with them. Actually be brave and share that, because not only will you make your happiness level increase, you'll obviously make their happiness levels go through the roof too. Now, thinking about connection, and obviously that has been a theme throughout all of our sessions, but I really want to share with you a study about the importance of building micro connections, and building micro connections even with strangers too. So these are the people that you interact with, perhaps even on a daily basis, but you don't have to share your entire life story with them, but you could definitely say hi a bit more. You could say hi, you could flash them a smile, you could engage in low-level small talk if you're comfortable, like the barista at your local coffee shop, or the post person, or the Amazon delivery person. There is so much research that shows that this makes us happier. If you flash a smile, you feel instantly happier in yourself. And studies have shown that this can last throughout the entire day. What's happening here is we're also looking at the control leg of our stool, because you're starting to feel a sense of control over your life. The world is starting to feel safer. There are these networks in our brain that scientists call the sociometer. And this is always working. This is detecting, this is scanning our outside world to see, is my social environment safe? So if you say, thanks so much for the latte, how's it been for you today? See you same time tomorrow. I know that sounds really trivial, but there is hard scientific evidence that shows that this can make us feel happier and more content and more connected to other people. And being happy, as we've learned throughout these sessions, is a skill. We unfortunately aren't taught it at school. We're not necessarily taught it by our parents, but we can teach it. It's intrinsically linked to our health. Studies have shown that happier people even live longer. This is why this is so very important. So taking this connection theme just one final step further, I'd like to just mention kindness to conclude our vlog series, because this is an essential and often overlooked part of our health and our happiness. There are decades of evidence around the power of kindness as a way of expressing positive social connection. Kindness buffers stress even. It lowers pain levels. It lowers symptoms of anxiety and depression. It boosts our immune system. So I'd encourage you now just to reflect and think about a time when perhaps you've gone through a really difficult, tough time, but you felt some real comfort from someone by your side. It might be a friend, it might even be a stranger who happens to say the right thing at the right time. But think about wishing these people gratitude while we're on our gratitude theme, because this, as we know, is such a powerful technique and so good for our well-being. But even better than wishing them it, as I said, tell them it, pass this thankfulness feeling on. And actually what this has shown is that our everyday action actually has a transformative power. Kindness has a ripple effect of up to 100 people, studies have recently shown. So one act of kindness from you can ripple to and inspire acts of kindness in up to 100 other people. This is transformative. It's not only transforming our own happiness level, but the world around us. So what small act of kindness will you pledge this week? Just take a moment to reflect and pledge that now. I really hope that during this vlog series, I've been able to show you some useful practices and to show you really how easy it is to be good at getting happy. Happiness is not some impossibly distant destination. It's not a state reserved for the privileged. It is absolutely accessible to you. And I look forward to your journey in finding true happiness.